Welcome back, everybody, to episode 7, I want to say, of Sip Read Repeat. I am your host, D. James, aka King Echo, and today we are, of course, reading Gone Girl. We are picking up right after our boy Nick was at his sister's house talking about how he's been acting a little strange recently. He recently read a note, I should say, one of Amy's other clues, but right now we are picking up right as he is getting ready to go check out the mall. Today's drink of choice, I got Liquid Death. Today's flavor is Dr. Death. I think I did this one before, and it's like a grape flavor, obviously by the purple can color. Let's get started, shall we? 11:08 p.m. Rand was waiting for us just inside the automatic sliding doors to the hotel, his face squinting into the dark to make us out. The Hilsons were driving their pickup. Stux and I both rolled into bed. Rand came trotting up to us in khaki golf shorts and a crisp Middlebury t-shirt. He hopped in the back, planted himself in the wheel cover with surprising ease, and handled the introductions like he was the host of his own mobile talk show. I'm really sorry about Amy, Rand, Stuck said loudly as we hurtled out of the parking lot with unnecessary speed and hit the highway. She's such a sweet person, and one time she saw me out painting a house, sweating my butt off, and she drove on to 7-Eleven, got me a giant pop, and brought it back to me, right up on the ladder. This was a lie. Amy, Amy cared so little for Stux or his refreshment that she wouldn't have bothered to piss in a cup for him. That sounds like her, Rand said, and I was flushed with unwelcome, ungentlemanly annoyance. Maybe it was the journalist in me, but facts were facts, and people didn't get to turn Amy into everyone's beloved best friend just because it was emotionally expedient. Middlebury, huh? Stux continued, pointing at Rand's t-shirt. Got a hell of a rugby team. That's right, we do, Rand said. The big smile again, and he and Stux began an improbable discussion of liberal arts rugby over the noise of the car, the air, the night, all the way to the mall. Joe Hilsum parked his truck outside the giant Cornerstone Mervyn's. Or, excuse me, yeah, it says Cornerstone. Did they mean corner store? Whatever. We all hopped out, stretched our legs, shook ourselves awake. The night was muggy and moon slivered. I noticed Stux was wearing, maybe ironically, possibly not, a t-shirt that read, Save Gas, Fart in a Jar. So, this place, what we're doing, it's freaking dangerous, I don't want to lie, Mikey Hilson began. He had beefed up over the years, as had his brother. They weren't just barrel-chested, but barrel-everything. Standing side by side, they were about 500 pounds of dude. We came here once, me and Mikey, just for, I don't know, to see it, I guess. See what it had become, and we almost got our asses handed to us, said Joe. So tonight we take no chances. He reached into the cab for a long canvas bag and unzipped it to reveal half a dozen baseball bats. He began handing them out solemnly. When he got to Rand, he hesitated. You want one? Hell yes, I do, Rand said, and they all nodded and smiled approval, the energy in the circle, a friendly backslap. Good for you, old man. Come on, Mikey said, and led us along the exterior. There's a door with the lock smashed off down here near the Spencers. Just then we passed the dark windows of a shooby dooby doo, sorry, where my mom had worked for more than half my life. I still remember the thrill of her going to apply for a job at that most wondrous of places, the mall. Leaving one Saturday morning for the job fair in her bright peach pantsuit, a 40-year-old woman looking for work for the first time, and her coming home with a flushed grin. We couldn't imagine how busy the mall was. So many different kinds of stores, and who knew which one she might work in. She applied to 9 clothing stores and stereo stores, and even a designer popcorn store. When she announced a week later that she was officially a shoe sales lady, her kids were underwhelmed. You'll have to touch all sorts of stinky feet, Go complained. I'll get to meet all sorts of interesting people, our mom corrected. I peered into the gloomy window. The place was entirely vacant, except for a shoe sizer lying pointlessly against the wall. My mom used to work here, I told Rand, forcing him to linger with me. What kind of place was it? It was a nice place. They were good to her. I mean, what do they do here? Oh, shoes. They did shoes. That's right, shoes. I like that. Something people actually need. And at the end of the day, you know what you've done? You've sold 5 people's shoes. Not like writing, huh? Done, come on. Stux was leaning against the open door ahead. The others had gone inside. I'd expected the mall smell as we entered, that temperature controlled hollowness. Instead, I smelled old grass and dirt, the scent of the outdoors inside, where it had no place being. The building was heavy, hot, almost fuzzy, like the inside of a mattress. That sounds gross. 3 of us had giant camping flashlights, the glow illuminating jarring images. It was suburbia, post comet, post zombie, post humanity, a set of muddy shopping cart tracks looped crazily along the white flooring. A raccoon shooting a dog tree in the entry to women's bathroom, his eyes flashing like dimes. This sounds ratchet as fuck. The whole mall was quiet. Mikey's voice echoed. Our footsteps echoed. Stuck's drunken giggle echoed. We would not be a surprise attack, if attack was what we had in mind. When we reached the central promenade of the mall, the whole area ballooned. 4 stories high, escalators and elevators crisscrossing in the black. We all gathered near a dried up fountain and waited for someone to take the lead. So, guys, Rand said doubtfully, what's the plan here? You all know this place, and I don't. We need to figure out how to systematically. We heard a loud metal rattle right behind us, a security gate going up. Hey, there's one, Stux yelled. He trained his flashlight on a man in a billowing rain slicker, shooting out from the entry of Eclairs, running full speed away from us. Stop him, Joe yelled and began running after him. Thick tennis shoes slapping against the ceramic tile. Mikey right behind him, flashlight trained on the stranger. The 2 brothers calling gruffly, hold up there. Hey, guy, we had just a question. The man didn't even give a backward glance. I said, hold on, motherfucker. The runner remained silent amid the yelling, but he picked up speed and shot down the mall corridor, in and out of the flashlight's glow, his slicker flapping behind him like a cape. Then the guy turned acrobatic, leaping over a trash can, shimmying off the edge of a fountain, and finally slipping under a metal security gate to the gap and disappearing. Fucker! The Hilsums had turned heart attack red in the face, the neck, the fingers. They took turns grunting at the gate, straining to lift it. I reached down with them, but there was no budging it over half a foot. I lay down on the floor and tried threading myself under the gate. Toes, calves, then stuck at my waist. Nope, no go, I grunted. Fuck! I pulled up and shone my flashlight into the store. The showroom was empty except for a pile of clothing racks someone had dragged to the center, as if to start a bonfire. All the stores connecting the back to the passageways for trash, plumbing, I said. He's probably at the other end of the mall by now. Well, then let's go to the other end of the mall, Rand said. Come out, you fuckers, Joe yelled, his head tilted back, eyes scrunched, his voice echoed through the building. We began walking, ragtag, trailing our bats alongside us, except for the Hilsums, who used theirs to bang against security gates and doors, like they were on military patrol in a particularly nasty war zone. Better you come to us than we come to you, Mikey yelled. Oh, hello! In the entryway to a pet shop, a man and a woman huddled on a few army blankets, their hair wet with sweat. Oh, excuse me. Oh, hello, is how it should have read. Mikey loomed over them, breathing heavily, wiping his brow. It was the scene in the war movie when the frustrated soldiers come across innocent villagers and bad things happen. The fuck you want? The man on the floor asked. He was emaciated, his face so thin and drawn it looked like it was melting. His hair was tangled to his shoulders, his eyes mournful and upturned. A despoiled Jesus. The woman was in better shape, with clean, plump arms and legs, her lank hair oily but brushed. You a blue book boy? Stux asked. Ain't no boy anyhow, the man muttered, folding his arms. Have some fucking respect, the woman snapped. Then she looked like she might cry. She turned away from us, pretending to look at something in the distance. I'm sick of no one having no respect. We asked you a question, buddy, Mikey said, moving closer to the guy, kicking the sole of his foot. I ain't blue book, the man said, just down on my luck. Bullshit. Lots of different people here, not just blue books. But if that's what you're looking for, go on then, go and find them, the woman said, her mouth turning down. Go bother them. They deal down the hole, the man said. When we looked blank, he pointed. The Mervin's far end, past where the carousel used to be. And fuck you very much, the woman muttered. A crop circle stain marked where the carousel once was. Amy and I had taken a ride just before the mall shut down. Two grown-ups, side by side, on levitating bunny rabbits. Because my wife wanted to see the mall where I spent so much of my childhood, wanted to hear my stories. It wasn't all bad with us. It wasn't all bad with us. The barrier gate to the Mervins had been busted through, so the store was open as wide and welcoming as the morning of a President's Day sale. Inside, the place was cleared out except for the islands that once held cash registers and now held about a dozen people in various states of drug highs under signs that read jewelry and beauty and bedding. They were illuminated by gas camping lamps that flickered like tiki torches. A few guys barely opened an eye as we passed. Others were out cold. In a far corner, two kids not long out of their teens were manically reciting the Gettysburg Address. Now we are engaged in the Great Civil War. One man sprawled out on the rug in immaculate jean shorts and white tennis shoes, like he was on the way to his kid's T-ball game. Rand stared at him, as if he might know the guy. Carthage had a bigger drug epidemic than I ever knew. The cops had been here just yesterday, and already the druggies had resettled like determined flies. That's low-key a bar. As we made our way through the piles of humans, an obese woman shushed up to us. Shushed? On an electric scooter. Her face was pimply and wet with sweat, her teeth cat-like. You buying or leaving, but because this ain't no show and tell, she said. Stux shone a flashlight on her face. Get that fucking thing off me. He did. I'm looking for my wife, I began. Amy Dunn. She's been missing since Thursday. She'll show up. She'll wake up, drag herself home. We're not worried about drugs, I say. We're more concerned about some of the men here. We've heard rumors. It's okay, Melanie, a voice called. At the edge of the junior section, a rangy man, leaned against a naked mannequin torso, watching us, a sideways grin on his face. Melanie shrugged, bored, annoyed, and motored away. The man kept his eyes on us, but called toward the back of the junior section, where 4 sets of feet poked out from the dressing rooms, men camped out in their individual cubicles. Hey, Lonnie, hey, all, the assholes are back. 5 of them, the man said. He kicked an empty beer can toward us. Behind him, 3 sets of feet began moving, men pulling themselves up. 1 set remained still, their owner asleep or passed out. Yeah, fuckos, we're back, Mikey Hilson said. He held his bat like a pool cue and punched the mannequin torso between the breasts. She tottered toward the ground, the blue book guy removing his arm gracefully as she fell, as if it were all part of a rehearsed act. We want some information on a missing girl. The 3 men from the dressing rooms joined their friends. They all wore Greek party t-shirts, Pi-Fi tie-dye, and Fiji Island. Local Goodwills got inundated with these come summer, university graduates shedding their old souvenirs. The men were all wiry strong, muscular arms, rivered with popping blue veins. Behind them, a guy with a long, drooping mustache and hair in a ponytail. Lonnie came out of the largest corner dressing room, dragging a long length of pipe, wearing a Gamma Phi t-shirt. We were looking at mall security. What's up? Lonnie called. We cannot dedicate, we cannot consecrate, we cannot hollow this ground. The kids were reciting in a pitch that was close to screaming. We're looking for Amy Dunn. You probably seen her on the news, missing since Thursday, Joe Hilson said. Nice, pretty, sweet lady, stolen from her own home. I heard about it. So, said Lonnie. She's my wife, I said. We know what you guys have been getting into out here, Joe continued, addressing only Lonnie, who was tossing his ponytail behind him, squaring his jaw. Faded green tattoos covered his fingers. We know about the gang rape. I glanced at Rand to see if he was all right. He was staring at the naked mannequin on the floor. Gang rape, Lonnie said, jerking his head back. The fuck you talking about a gang rape? You guys, Joe said. You Blue Book boys. Blue Book boys like we're some kind of crew, Lonnie sniffed. We're not animals, asshole. We don't steal women. People want to feel okay for not helping us. See, they don't deserve it. They're a bunch of rapists. Well, bullshit. I get the fuck out of this town if the plant would give me my back pay, but I got nothing. None of us got nothing. So here we are. We'll give you money. Good money. If you can tell us anything about Amy's disappearance, I said. You guys know a lot of people. Maybe you heard something. I pulled out her photo. The Hilsons and Stucks looked surprised, and I realized, of course, this was only a macho diversion for them. I pushed the photo on Lonnie's face, expecting him to barely glance. Instead, he leaned in closer. Oh shit, he said. Her? You recognize her? He actually looked stricken. She wanted to buy
A gun.
the fuck you doing, Amy? The fuck is Nick doing? So many questions. Let's keep going. Amy Elliott Dunn, October 16th, 2010. Things just got real spicy for me. That was I forgot that happened. That was a nice little twist. Yeah, let's do it. Happy anniversary to me. 1 full month as a Missouri resident, and I am on my way to becoming a good Midwesterner. Yep, I have gone cold turkey of all things East Coast, and I have earned my 30-day chip. Here would be a potato chip. I am taking notes. I am honoring traditions. I am the Margaret Mead of the goddamn Mississippi. Let's see, what's new? Nick and I are currently embroiled in what I have taken to calling to myself the cuckoo clock conundrum. My parents' cherished heirloom looks ridiculous in the new house. But then all of our New York stuff does. Our dignified elephant of a Chesterfield with its matching baby ottoman sits in the living room looking stunned, as if it got sleep darted in its natural environment and woke up in this strange new captivity, surrounded by faux posh carpet and synthetic wood and unveined walls. I do miss our old place, all the bumps and ridges and hairline fractures left by the decades. Pause for attitude adjustment. But new is nice too, just different. The clock would disagree. The cuckoo is also having a tough time adjusting to its new space. The little bird lurches out drunkenly at 10 minutes after the hour. 17 minutes before, 41 past. It emits a dying wail, cuckoo, that every time brings Bleecker trotting in from some hideaway, eyes wild, all business, his tail a bottle brush as he tilts his head toward the feathers and mules. Wow, your parents must really hate me, Nick says whenever we're both in earshot of the noise, though he's smart enough not to recommend ridding ourselves of the thing just yet. I actually want to trash it too. I am the one, the jobless, at home all day, just waiting for its squawk. A tense moviegoer steeling myself for the next outburst from the crazy patron behind me. Both relieved, there it is, and angry, there it is, each time it comes. Much to do, much to do was made over the clock at the housewarming. Oh, look at that, an antique clock, which Mama Maureen Dunn insisted on. Actually, not insisted on. Mama Mo does not insist. She simply makes things a reality by assuming they are such. From the first morning after the move, when she appeared on our doorstep with a welcome home egg scramble and a family pack of toilet paper, which didn't speak well for the egg scramble, she spoken of the housewarming as if it were a fact. So when do you want to do your housewarming? Have you thought about who I should invite to the housewarming? Do you want a housewarming or something fun, like a stock the bar party? But a traditional housewarming is always nice. And then suddenly there was a date, and the date was today. And Dunn family and friends were shaking off the October drizzle from umbrellas and carefully, conscientiously, wiping their feet on the floor mat Maureen had brought us for this morning. Had brought for us this morning. The rug says, all our friends who enter here. It is from Costco. I have learned about bulk shopping in my 4 weeks as a Mississippi River resident. Republicans go to Sam's Club, Democrats go to Costco. But everyone buys bulk because, unlike Manhattanites, they all have space to store 24 jars of sweet pickles. And unlike Manhattanites, they all have uses for 24 jars of sweet pickles. No gathering is complete without a lazy Susan full of pickles and Spanish olives right from the jar, and a salt lick. I don't know if you can really see my can, but it's sweating. It's hot, boy. I got this fan going to save my life. Sorry, that was very out of character. I set the scene. It is one of those big smelling days when people bring the outdoors in with them. The scent of rain on their sleeves, in their hair. The older women, Maureen's friends, present varying food items in, present varying food items in plastic dishwasher safe containers they will later ask to be returned. And ask and ask. I know now that I am supposed to wash out the containers and drop each of them back by their proper homes. A Ziploc carpool. But when I first came here, I was unaware of the protocol. I dutifully recycled all the plastic containers, and so I had to go buy all new ones. Maureen's best friend, Vicky, immediately noticed her container was brand new, store bought, an imposter. When I explained my confusion, she widened her eyes in amazement. So that's how they do it in New York. But the housewarming, the older women or Maureen's friends from long ago PTA meetings, from book clubs, from the shooby dooby at the mall, where she spent 40 hours a week slipping sensible block heels onto women of a certain age. She can size a foot on sight. Women's 8, narrow. It's her go to party trick. All Mo's friends love Nick, and they all have stories about sweet things Nick has done for them over the years. The younger women, the women representing the pool of possible Amy friends, all sport the same bleached blonde wedge haircut, the same slip on mules. They are the daughters of Maureen's friends, and they all love Nick. And they all have stories about the sweet things Nick has done for them over the years. Most of them are out of work from the mall closings, or their husbands are out of work from the mall closings. So they all offer me recipes for cheap and easy eats that usually involve a casserole made from canned soup, butter, and a snack chip. The men are nice and quiet and hunker in circles, talking about sports and smiling benevolently toward me. Everyone is nice. They are literally as nice as they can be. Maureen, the tri state's hardiest cancer patient, introduces me to all her friends, the same way you show off a slightly dangerous new pet. This is Nick's wife, Amy, who was born and raised in New York City, and her friends, plump and welcoming, immediately suffer some strange Tortesian episode. No, not Tortesian. Tourettean episode. They repeated the words New York City with clasped hands and say something that defies response. That must have been neat. Or in reedy voices they sing New York, New York, rocking side to side with tiny jazz hands. Oh, New York, New York. Sorry, I clearly only know it one way. Maureen's friend from the shoe store, Barb, drills New York City. Get a rope. What? And when I squint at her in confusion, she says, "Oh, it's from that old salsa commercial." And when I still fail to connect, she blushes, puts a hand on my arm, and says, "I wouldn't really hang you." Thank you? Ultimately, everyone trails off into giggles and confesses they've never been to New York, or that they've been once and didn't care for it much. Then I say something like, "You'd like it," or "It's definitely not for everyone," or because I've run out of things to say. "Be friendly, Amy." Nick spits into my ear when we're refilling drinks in the kitchen. Midwesterners love 2 liters of soda, always 2 liters, and you pour them into big red plastic solo cups, always. I whine. It really hurts my feelings because if you ask anyone in the room whether I've been friendly, I know they say yes. Sometimes I feel like Nick has decided on a version of me that doesn't exist. Since we've moved here, I've done girls' nights out and charity walks. I've cooked casseroles for his dad and helped sell tickets for raffles. I tapped the last of my money to give to Nick and Go so they could buy the bar they've always wanted. And I even put the check inside a card shaped like a mug of beer. Cheers to you. And Nick just gave a flat out begrudging thanks. I don't know what to do. I'm trying. We deliver the soda pops, me smiling and laughing even harder, a vision of grace and good cheer, asking everyone if I can get them anything else, complimenting women on ambrosia salads and crab dips and pickle slices wrapped in cream cheese, wrapped in salami. Nick's dad arrives with Go. They stand silently on the doorstep, Midwest Gothic, Bill Dunn wiry and still handsome, a tiny band-aid on his forehead. Go, grim-faced, her hair in barrettes, her eyes averted from her father. Nick, Bill Dunn says, shaking his hand, and he steps inside, frowning at me. Go follows, grabs Nick, and pulls him back behind the door, whispering, I have no idea where he is right now, headwise. Like if he's having a bad day or if he's just being a jackass. No idea. Okay, don't worry. I'll keep an eye on him. Go shrugs pissily. I'm serious, Go. Go grab a beer and take a break. You are relieved of dad duty for the next hour. I think if that had been me, he complained that I was being too sensitive. The older women keep swirling around me, telling me how Maureen has always said what a wonderful couple Nick and I are. And she is right. We are clearly made for each other. I prefer these well meant cliches to the talk we heard before we got married. Marriage is compromise and hard work, and then more hard work, and communication and compromise, and then work. Abandon all hope, ye who enter. The engagement party back in New York was the worst for this. All the guests hot with wine and resentment, as if every set of spouses had gotten into an argument on the way to the club. Or they remembered some argument, like Binks Moriarty, my mom's best friend, 88-year-old mother, stopped me at the bar, bellowed, Amy, I must talk to you, in an emergency room voice. She twisted her precious rings on her over-knuckled fingers, twist, turn, creak, and fondled my arm. The old person grope, the cold fingers coveting your nice, soft, warm, new skin. And then Binks told me how her late husband of 63 years had trouble keeping it in his pants. Binks said this with one of those I'm almost dead, I can say this kind of stuff grins and cataract clouded eyes. He just couldn't keep it in his pants, the old lady said urgently, her hand chilling my arm in a death grip. But he loved me more than any of them. I know it, and you know it. The moral to her story being, Mr. Binks was a cheating dick weasel, but, marriage is compromise. I retreated quickly and began circulating through the crowd, smiling at a series of wrinkled faces, that baggy, exhausted, disappointed look that people get in the middle age, and all the faces were like that. Most of them were also drunk, dancing steps from their youth, swaying to country club funk, and that seemed even worse. I was making my way to the French windows for some air, and a hand squeezed my arm. Nick's mom, Mama Maureen, with her big black laser eyes, her eager pug dog face, thrusting a wad of goat cheese and crackers into her mouth. Maureen managed to say, It's not easy pairing yourself off with someone forever. It's an admirable thing, and I'm glad you're both doing it, but boy, oh, girl, oh, there will be days you wish you'd never done it, and those will be the good times, when it's only days of regret and not months. I must have looked shocked. I was definitely shocked, because she said quickly, But then you have good times too. I know you will. You too, a lot of good times. So just forgive me, sweetheart, what I said before. I'm just being a silly old divorce lady. Oh, mother of pearl, I think I had too much wine. And she fluttered a goodbye at me and scampered away through all the other disappointed couples. You're not supposed to be here, Bill Dunn was suddenly yelling. And he was saying it to me. Why are you here? You're not allowed here. I'm Amy, I say, touching his arm as if that might wake him. Bill has always liked me, even if he could think of nothing to say to me. I could tell he liked me, the way he watched me like I was a rare bird. Now he is scowling, thrusting his chest toward me, a caricature of a young sailor ready to brawl. A few feet away, Go sets down her food and gets ready to move toward us, quietly, like she is catching a fly. Why are you in our house? Bill Dunn says, his mouth grimacing. You've got some nerve, lady. Nick, Go calls behind her, not loudly but urgently. Got it, Nick says, appearing. Hey, Dad, this is my wife, Amy. Remember? Amy, we moved back home so we could see you more. This is our new house. Nick glares at me. I was the one who insisted we invite his dad. All I'm saying, Nick, Bill Dunn says, pointing now, jabbing an index finger toward my face, the party going hushed, several men moving slowly, cautiously in from the other room, their hands twitching, ready to move, is she doesn't belong here. Little bitch thinks she can do whatever she wants. Mama Mo swoops in, her arm around her ex-husband, always rising to the occasion. Of course she belongs here, Bill. It's her house. She's your son's wife, remember? I want her out of here, Maureen. I want her out of here. Do you understand me, Maureen? He shrugs her off and starts moving toward me again. Dumb bitch, dumb bitch. It's unclear if he means me or Marine, but then he looks at me and tightens his lips. She doesn't belong here. I'll go, I say, and turn away, walk straight out the door into the rain. From the mouths of Alzheimer's patients, I think, trying to make light. I walk a loop around the neighborhood, waiting for Nick to appear, to guide me back to our house. The rain spackles me, gently, dampening me. I really believe Nick will come after me. I turn toward the house and see only a closed door. You going after your spouse in that moment, or you staying inside? Be realistic. I'm probably gonna go after her. I'm probably gonna yell at my dad, but like also it's not his fault. He has Alzheimer's, but also I'm still gonna yell at him, and then because you shouldn't be calling my wife a dumb bitch, and I'm gonna go after my wife.